Hi there, I'm John of John's Carnivorous Plants. This is my indoor nursery, and today I'm going to be talking about why you always need to acclimate plants. So, I've done numerous videos about why you should acclimate plants, various different forms of acclimation, etc. And then in other video topics I've talked about like acclimating plants, but this one is basically to break down, well, I get asked this question a lot, or see it indirectly of oh no, I asked the grower exactly what their humidity and light and all this other stuff was, and whenever I got it, I thought I didn't have to acclimate it. What do I do? I thought it would already been acclimated. Let me, for any of those people out there who watch and are going to think about asking me this, I need to ask you this one big question. Whenever you received your plant, if the conditions changed at all between point A to point B, you need to acclimate it. Your home is not where it was growing. In the wild, plants don't just get up and move any measurable distance. They just don't, as a general rule of thumb. Granted, yeah, there is some things that will move, and physically get moved. But these are very rare exceptions. Not exactly what's going to happen, especially in the case of these carnivorous plants. Most of them, whenever they germinate, that's where they're going to live their entire life. And if they do get moved, it was an incredibly traumatic event that they are extremely lucky to ever survive. It does not work very well for plants that move in the wild. So because of that, whenever you've moved a plant and are giving it different lighting, except it could even be the direction it's facing the light. Okay, these things all stress them out and cause them to have to readjust, which that's what the whole thing of acclimation is about. I was about to say acclimatization and just really butcher it. But that's what it's all about, is basically you're trying to give this plant the best chance it has to readjust to your home. And that's where I think people miss the plot with why you have to acclimate your plant. And honestly, that's where I say if you're acclimating a plant, it's going to be very similar to a quarantine process, which is just goes hand in hand. If you're quarantining a plant, you're more than likely acclimating it to your environment at the same time. And doing those two things together over the course of 10 to 14 days, perfect. I highly recommend that. Even for me, if I have the same exact conditions as you and I mail one of these plants to you, it still had several days in the mail where it is not supposed to be. Okay, plants do not exist in, cardboard boxes for any period of time in the wild. It just doesn't occur. They don't get shaken around. There's all kinds of different temperature variations that occur. It depends if it was on the airplane or if it was shipped via on the truck on ground. These are way different conditions. They'll have different air pressures, all kinds of stuff going on, that then whenever you open up your package and then got it at your house, you're going to have problems because you need to acclimate it. You cannot just assume that, oh, just because it even got mailed for 2 days, you open it up, that it's just going to be hunky-dory. No, that was a stressful event. And the best way I can put it to you is, if you had no food and no water and just had to rely on the meal you just ate recently, you are going to go climb into a dark box and then get moved, go through hot and cold, and get shaken around with no light for 2 full days, no bathroom, nothing like that, and you don't get to get out or anything, you're going to be a little stressed. And you really need to understand that's how these plants are going to be as well, because they're living creatures. Well, not creatures, I shouldn't say animals or anything, but they're living beings. They also experience stress. They also don't do so well if they keep getting stress, because eventually either their immune system or other parts of their biology just give out. They're not built to handle that much stress. And frankly, they wouldn't ever usually see that in the wild, which is why it's so fatal in most cases. All of this to beat into your head that you should always acclimate your plants. It doesn't matter where they came from, especially if even they came from a nursery or literally right down your street, a nursery down your street, and then you just bring it in your home, it needs to be acclimated. It's a different environment. You need to give it the best chance to get everything there. Now, are there going to be some places that are harder to acclimate from than others? So like a fresh tissue culture jar to, you know, your environment that is most certainly not sterile. Yeah, it's going to be a much harder adjustment than the one that, you know, is literally grown down the street from you. But both cases, you want to have a process that you work out that is going to be both your quarantine / acclimatization process, that you're able to adjust the plants in a very slow and gradual way over the course of about 10 to 14 days to your environment. I hope this wakes some people up. I hope it stops me from getting some more questions about, oh, I didn't acclimate the plant. What do I do now? Well, you should have acclimated it. That's going to be my answer. That's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to basically tell you to start start acclimating it now. Get it under a bag, slowly get the humidity raised up, then slowly lower it down to where your conditions are. Same with the light. Start it lower, and then work it way up to where you're going to have it. Just, it is what it is. It's a process that if you don't respect, you are going to lose some plants in the process. And then other ones that are stronger and, you know, tends to be mostly by genetics of which ones can handle it. Some of them are based off of conditions. So like more specialized plants tend to have much more of a harder time acclimating in between environments. Whereas like if you had like a kind of grass, it's just going to grow pretty much like it always was, but it'll appreciate the period of time of acclimation. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this helps somebody in the future, and please like, subscribe, check out the links in the description. Have a great day, and thank you.